Imagine waking up tomorrow, feeling lighter, calmer, and just happier. Not because you won the lottery, not because you suddenly have zero problems, but because you know the daily habits that science says actually boost happiness. Here's the truth. Happiness isn't some magical gift only a few lucky people get. It's a skill, and researchers have discovered simple ways we can train our brains to feel more joy every single day. And in this video, we're diving into 7 science-backed ways to be happier, starting today. By the end, you'll have a toolkit you can use anytime life feels heavy. So stick around. All right, let's jump into tip number 1. The 2-minute gratitude shift. Let's start with something ridiculously simple. Gratitude. Now, you've probably heard this before. Be grateful. But here's what most people miss. It's not about writing a novel in a gratitude journal. It's about a quick mental shift. Psychologists at the University of California found that writing down just 3 things you're grateful for each day actually trains your brain to scan the world for positives instead of negatives. Think about that. Instead of noticing the traffic, the emails, the stress, your brain starts noticing the smile from a stranger, the taste of your coffee, the fact that your Wi-Fi is actually working today. Here's the trick. Don't overthink it. Even something as small as, "My pet didn't bite me this morning," counts. A friend of mine started texting his 3 gratitudes to his wife every night. He said not only did it boost his mood, but their relationship got stronger because they were both ending the day focusing on the good. 2. The 10-minute walk that beats an antidepressant. Sometimes. Researchers at Duke University found that exercise can be just as effective as antidepressants for mild to moderate depression. And we're not talking about running marathons. Even a 10-minute brisk walk is enough to lift your mood. Why? Movement releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals, and it literally changes your brain chemistry. Think about the last time you were stuck in a bad mood and someone convinced you to get up, go for a walk, or dance a little. By the end, you almost forgot why you were upset. And here's the best part. You don't need fancy equipment. Just step outside, put in some earbuds, and let your brain reset. Schedule a 10-minute walk into your day. Treat it like brushing your teeth. Non-negotiable. Okay, so gratitude trains your brain. Movement resets your body. But there's another happiness hack hiding in plain sight. 3. The 5-minute social recharge. Humans are wired for connection. In fact, a Harvard study that tracked people for 75 years, yes, 75 years, found that the #1 predictor of happiness wasn't money, fame, or career success. It was the quality of relationships. But here's the catch. You don't need to be a social butterfly. Even a quick 5-minute interaction can give you a happiness boost. One guy I know started a habit of calling a friend every time he was stuck in traffic. Instead of being annoyed by cars, he now looks forward to those little catch-ups. It doesn't have to be deep. A funny meme, a short text, a quick chat with the barista. Today, reach out to one person you care about. Doesn't matter if it's a text or a voice note. Just send it. Now here's where it gets interesting. Happiness isn't only about adding things in. Sometimes it's about subtracting. 4. The doomscroll detox. Be honest. How often do you find yourself scrolling, and suddenly it's been an hour? You feel drained, and you're not even sure what you saw. Yeah, that's doomscrolling. And research shows that excessive social media use is linked to higher anxiety and lower happiness. But here's the twist. It's not about quitting cold turkey. It's about setting guardrails. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that limiting social media use to 30 minutes a day significantly reduced loneliness and depression. On one side, you have endless scrolling, comparing yourself to strangers. On the other side, you have 30 minutes of intentional use, laughing at memes, messaging friends, catching up on news, and then logging off. Put a 30-minute timer on your phone today. Test how much lighter you feel. All right, so we've talked about gratitude, movement, connection, and cutting negativity. But here's a sneaky one most people miss.
5. The power of awe. Have you ever stood in front of a sunset or looked up at the stars and suddenly felt this giant wave of calm? That's awe. And researchers at UC Berkeley found that experiencing awe, even for just a minute, can lower stress, reduce inflammation in the body, and boost happiness. And the best part, you don't need to visit the Grand Canyon to feel it. A woman I know started a ritual of watching a 1-minute awe video every morning, like baby turtles hatching or astronauts in space. She said it completely shifted her mood before work. This week, intentionally seek out awe. Step outside and watch the clouds. Listen to an epic piece of music. Even a sketch of a giant tree can spark it. Now, awe is about opening your eyes. But happiness also grows when you open your calendar to something new.
6. The joy of trying something new. Here's a happiness paradox. We think routines make us comfortable, but they can actually make us feel stuck. Studies show that learning a new skill, no matter how small, boosts dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. And guess what? You don't have to master anything. The joy comes from being a beginner. A friend of mine decided to learn how to juggle. He still drops the balls constantly, but he swears it's one of the happiest 10 minutes of his day because he's laughing at himself while making progress. You could try cooking a new recipe, doodling, learning a magic trick, whatever sparks curiosity. Pick one micro skill you can experiment with this week. Remember, the goal is fun, not perfection. And that brings us to the final, maybe most powerful happiness booster of all.
7. Acts of kindness. Here's the fascinating part. When you make someone else happy, your brain gets a happiness boost too. In one study, participants were given $20. Half were told to spend it on themselves, half to spend it on others. The group that gave money away reported way higher happiness. And it doesn't need to be money. Hold the door open, compliment a stranger, send someone a coffee. One guy I know made a habit of paying for the next person's coffee in line once a week. He said it became his favorite part of the week, not because of what he gave, but because of the joy it created. Do one small act of kindness today. Watch what happens to your mood. So here's your challenge. Pick one habit from this list and start today. By tomorrow, you'll already feel the shift. Because happiness isn't something we wait for. It's something we create. Thanks for watching. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical, science-backed tips. And remember, your happiness toolkit is in your hands. Use it and watch your days transform.